Now you may remember last time on Two Wheels, my road test was on a little Yamaha slider, a little scooter. Or was it a scooter? It wasn't very sure. It was a scooter without leg shields or body panels. In fact, it thought it was a mini Street Fighter. And then I complained because I wanted something a bit bigger. So they give me something a bit bigger. They've given me this, the Yamaha Aerox. An Aerox 100, mind, it's a big one, a powerful one, and it has in fact got a statement on the side saying performance. So we thought we'd try it. Then the camera crew arrive on probably the coldest day of the year. Just my luck. You know, the cold doesn't really bother me at all because you've got the right gear on, it's warm as toast in here, and all I've got to do is enjoy myself on the road. And I'm doing exactly that. I am actually so pleased that it's the 100cc version, because there is a 50cc version which is indeed restricted to 30 miles an hour. And this one being twice the cc, does it have twice the power? Well, it does in actual fact, because the little 50cc has got 3.7 horsepower, whereas this big, powerful 101ccs is 7.5 horsepower. So twice the power. Does that mean twice the speed? Well, in actual fact, it does, because, of course, the legally restricted 50cc version does 30 miles an hour, and this one, with a little bit of wind behind you, down a slope, will indeed do around 60 miles an hour, so twice the speed. So it's quite an enjoyable machine, and does it stop well? Well, it stops plenty well enough, if need be. Pull them levers and it works a disc on the front, but only a drum on the back, and that is one of the noticeable differences between this, the 100 and the 50cc. The 50cc only has a disc front and rear, and this one has a drum at the rear. Not only is that the different point, would you believe that the 100 is in fact very, very slightly lighter than the 50. I can't work that one out. Right, so let's have a look at this thing in a little more detail. We'll start at the front. Like a lot of modern day scooters, it does resemble a superbike with the fancy headlights and all the moulding down there, and nowadays with a great big fat front tyre. As we move back on this particular model, I quite like this. Apart from it looking rather trendy, also this is going to deflect the wind away from your legs. Now in my case, I've got myself a nice thick pair of leggings and a pair of proper motorcycle boots, but if you're just commuting, that would definitely take away the weather from your legs, so you don't always have to dress up on your scoot. As we move back a little bit, I just want to show you down here that we have a proper glove compartment. Look at that. In there you can put a few bits and pieces, your makeup in the case of Paul or whatever, but this is also where the two-stroke oil lives, so it keeps it nice and clean and tidy and out of the way. Back to the seat. Nice big seat. Hey, and I want to say something, knock me down with a feather. There is indeed a big hole under the seat. Now that's nothing special, you might say. Not on this particular bike. There is the big cavernous hole. Alright, you can put your helmet in there when you finish riding your scoot, or when you're carrying something. So big compartment to put your bits and pieces. But you may remember on the old Yamaha slider, no aperture at all, blank. It's where the petrol tank was and the oil tank was. So that is definitely a good point. Plenty of room to put your bits and pieces. Move back a little bit here, the pad for the passenger, and it is literally a soft pad, and if you've got problems with piles, it's perfectly formed. There, look. But grab handles either side, and right down here, foot pegs. So it's not exactly accommodating for a passenger, but it wouldn't be, would it? After all, it's a little scooter, and although that's a nice big seat and you may travel some distance on your own, I wouldn't have thought you'd travel a distance with a passenger on the back. So there we are. Nice, stylish, funky machine. So if you've got yourself a trendy scooter like this, in this beautiful blue to match my apparel and look stylish, young, like myself, then you could always pull the birds. Now, have I got any bread with me? Let's see. All right then, Twinkle. All right, darling. Do you know what I have worked out all by myself? The reason why they give me these scooters to road test is because they are aimed at the stylish and trendy young person. So obviously they're going to pick me. Believe that, you'll believe absolutely anything. The truth is, this is fun. As it is the bigger version of the Aerox, the 100cc, it's obviously going to travel a little bit quicker than the 50. But what I have noticed is the 50cc versions actually accelerate from the 0 speed up to around 25 mile an hour quicker than this one. But once you get over the 25 to the 30 mile an hour onwards, this baby sails along so quick it's surprising, very surprising. And as it does around 55-60 mile an hour, as quick as you are legally allowed to go on, say, a dual carriageway for example, it's plenty quick enough for everyday use. So what's it going to cost you for the Aerox 100? Well, it's a couple of £100 more than the 50. Just over £2,000 and around £1,800 for the 50cc Aerox. So as long as you're 17 and older, you may as well fork out the extra couple of £100 and go for the 100cc version, because believe you me, it's an awful lot more fun. So you probably gathered that I actually quite enjoy riding this little machine. It's the right size, physically that is. It's comfortable when you're sat on it, the handlebars meet your hands nicely and you feel like a presence on the road. It's quite a big machine. Not so much of a problem touching the ground for me, but maybe the ladies might just struggle a little bit, those that are even more vertically challenged than my very self. But generally when you're rolling down the road, it's fine. I've got to admit it's very stylish and the attention to detail is superb. I mean, the grips and the switch gear on the handlebars all blending neatly together. It's got rather attractive mirrors and yet still very practical, you can see over your shoulder. But I have gripes. I've got 3 major gripes. The first one, the main stand. It has a main stand, it doesn't have a side stand. I don't see why they don't have a side stand. It's a convenient factor and it's nice to just throw it on the side stand when you're rushing in and out of a shop. But it's got a main stand. Putting it on the main stand is hindered by the position of the kickstart. I don't honestly see why they've got a kickstart. Modern day scooters, you just pull the brake lever and press the start button and away you go. Which brings me to the second point. Normally, ignition on, lever in, press the start button, bit of revs, sorted. In this case, it's got a manual choke. You actually use a choke lever. Now that might offer a bit of a problem to some people because you've got to work out how much choke you need according to whether the engine's cold or hot, and there's no temperature gauge on it. So work that one out for yourself. I don't understand why they have it when on an awful lot of other scoots there are automatic chokes.